Hi, in this video I'm going to quickly show you how you can watch BBC iPlayer in Australia. Okay, so BBC iPlayer is, of course, the British Broadcasting Corporation's online streaming platform. It's one of the best, one of the first as well, actually released on the internet, and it's very popular. It's got millions and millions of users, but there is a slight drawback in that it's only available to people in the UK. So if you try and access BBC iPlayer from Australia, for example, let's just show here. I've got a program about Australia with Simon Reeve, who goes around. He's like a sort of travel correspondent. If you try and watch one of these programs, let's just go and see if you can watch it. When you click and start watching it, you'll find you'll get this error message. So BBC iPlayer only works in the UK. Sorry, it's due to a rights issue. You'll actually get that error message wherever you are located. How is it found out where you are? Well, it's basically on your IP address. Every time you go to the BBC website, in fact, when you go to any website, they all look up what your IP address and where it's registered, and by doing that they can actually locate pretty much where you are. They can certainly detect your country very easily. So okay, the BBC iPlayer, this is a site called gps-coordinates.org, which basically simulates what BBC iPlayer and most other websites see. When they go to the site, it has a little look at your IP address. You can't hide it directly, and then looks up your location. It just sees where it's registered, and you can't actually change that. And you can see here, hopefully, this is where the IP is registered. And you can see it's an Australian IP address, hence BBC iPlayer is never going to work. Okay, so what can we do about it? Well, we can't actually change our IP address, because when we connect to the internet, whether it's through a broadband provider, cable, or sitting in a cafe, hotel, library, whatever, the IP address assigned to us is almost always located in the host country. And you can't get one from a different country. It doesn't work like that. But what you can do is hide your IP address. So you're always going to have, if you're in Australia, you're going to have an Australian IP address. That stays the same, but you can hide that IP address by using something called a VPN. Now let me just close this and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so I'm going to use a VPN. A VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Let me show you the one I use. I use one called NordVPN. It's probably one of the most popular, if not the most popular VPN on the planet. And basically a VPN is an encrypted tunnel between your computer, your phone, your tablet or whatever, and a VPN server. It's a secure encrypted tunnel so that it keeps all your data safe. And if that's the primary reason people use VPNs, it's certainly why they were designed, to keep your data safe. So it can't be intercepted by, you can't lose passwords and usernames and email accounts, and it keeps all your data confidential, because, as I say, it's encrypted the whole journey. But there's an added benefit in that when you're online, the VPN server acts as your gateway to the internet, and the internet only sees that VPN server. It doesn't see your device. Hence, if you connect to a UK VPN server, it will see a UK IP address. So I hope you can see where we're going with this. If you go to BBC iPlayer while connected to a UK VPN, that's all it'll see. So here you can see my very basic NordVPN subscription. It hasn't got all the bells and whistles. It's $2 or $3 a month. I've got servers all over the world, but I need a UK server for BBC iPlayer. Now, I could click on the UK one there, but what I'm going to do is actually go to a specific server, and I'll show you why in a minute. This is important, especially if you use NordVPN, you should do this. Right, I've connected to a UK server. Now I will have a UK address. Now, quickly, I'm just going to show you these. These are specific servers that have been optimized for use with BBC iPlayer. The problem with using a VPN is BBC iPlayer doesn't want you to use them, and it tries to detect them. So if it can see 500 or 1,000 connections coming from the same IP address, it'll say, haha, that's a VPN or a proxy, and blocks it automatically. NordVPN have, instead of optimizing all their servers for access with BBC, they've just managed it by, I think there's about 40 of them here, as you can see. So you just type in any of these numbers, that's 1841, 42, 43 inclusive. Type in any of those numbers in the search bar and connect to one of those UK servers. They're optimized, they rotate the IP address, and they make sure not too many people are using them at the same time. Okay, so I've got a physical connection to a UK VPN server now. I will now go back to BBC iPlayer. Let's just go back to BBC iPlayer. Let's go and find Mr. Simon Reeves again with Australia. It's a good program. Australia with Simon Reeves. There we go. I mean, there's literally thousands of shows on BBC iPlayer. You can watch any of the channels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 through to S4C, which is a Welsh language channel. You can watch all those live, and then you can watch on demand, so to go to different categories. So this is a documentary called Australia. So you can remember when we tried to watch that before, we got a message saying we couldn't watch it. And here, there we go. Mr. Reeve in Australia. Good program. And hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to stop that there now. Otherwise I could get a copyright strike from YouTube. That works perfectly now. The reason? Because, let me just show you. Now, my GPS coordinates site, this gps-coordinates.org, has looked at my IP address and say, hey, where are you? And if you can remember, before it was located in Australia, it's now located in London. My IP address hasn't actually changed. It's just seeing the VPN server it's seen the IP address of the VPN server I'm connected to, which is in London. That means everything British works. Bear in mind, there's lots of Australia-only geo-blocked sites that you won't be able to use because they do exactly the same. So if you want to watch ABC or something like that, you'll have to disconnect your VPN server before you watch. What I do is have two browsers, so I can use one to watch one different things like BBC iPlayer, and another one to use Australian stuff. Okay, well, let me just close that. And that's basically how you watch BBC iPlayer in Australia. And you can also use it to watch ITVX and Channel 4, Channel 5, all the UK sites. And indeed, go to a different location and watch US-only TV sites. Nearly every media site in the world blocks or restricts access based on your location. If you've got a decent VPN, you don't need to worry about it because you can just change your country as you like. Okay, well, I'm going to finish there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Okay, goodbye.